Marianne Binetti. I'm here in my winter garden near Palm Springs, California, to talk a little about pruning plants that survive the intense hot summer weather. It is the month of November, and so I'm getting ready to cut back some overgrown plants that did too well in the summer heat, like this beautiful bougainvillea here, and also a perennial, this blue salvia here, that survived the summer all right, but it needs some specialized pruning to make it attractive for, the real growing season down here, which is the winter months. So I'm using regular pruning shears to cut back woody plants, the bougainvillea, which don't be afraid to really prune your bougainvillea back hard. It'll come back. And also this Thunbergii or lantana plant. Now, lantana, you buy these at the nurseries, but often they'll reseed and volunteer all over your garden. So be sure to cut them way back when they decide to invade beds that they are not welcome in. But the reason I have on the scissors here is because of the salvia. Now, this beautiful blue salvia has been here 3 years now, and it over summers, that means it survives in the summer despite the heat, because it's in kind of a shaded area. It's in a raised bed with some decent soil, and it has a mulch of dried leaves from this privet hedge here. But what I need to do is cut back these stems that have already flowered. They're gray in color, and that's going to tidy up the plant. And then not to be afraid to cut back 1/3 of this plant in the stair-step fashion. The stair-step fashion means the very front of the plant, I'm going to cut off the most so it doesn't hang quite so much. And the reason I'm using scissors is it's so easy to cut through a salvia. I'm going to actually put those in a vase afterwards, enjoy them as a cut flower, but I'm not going to bring them indoors. I'm going to enjoy them outdoors because those blue flowers drop all over. And by cutting back the front short, the middle part I just cut back a little tiny bit, medium, just the longest branches get cut. And then I leave the back of the plant tall. And this way, what I'm doing is I'm going to be having some fresh blooms up front and some medium blooms in the middle, and the back will be remaining the tall blooms. So I'm basically shaping up this plant, but the most important thing is taking off these stems that have already bloomed, because that's going to encourage more flowers. Now I'll also spread a slow release plant food, and because the weather is becoming cooler now in November, this plant is going to have a rejuvenation of growth. But let me show you over here. I am going to bring my pruners because you can see this example of the salvia or sage plant has branches spreading all the way out over It's as simple as that. That much that I cut off this plant is actually going to cause new growth, new blooms, and tidy up the plant. So get out there. It's time for gardening. If you live in a desert climate, and don't be afraid to prune back your salvia. It's been Marianne Binetti with Easy Answers for Great Gardens.